All right. Coming to you from Level 9 Studios, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the Professors. We ain't crazy. We're licensed.
We're licensed.
Crazy to know.
I'm Dr. Mark Brana. Along with me is
Casey Casillas Nichols.
Should make green.
Should make me green.
Make-
Should make green.
me.
Little
So
roll
thank you to everybody who's been listening. We appreciate all your support. And, you know, we've got this episode and one more episode before we wrap up for this season and take a little break. Please feel free to send us comments or ideas for the show at theprofessorspodcast@yahoo.com. Catch us on Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are played.
Yes. Follow us on Instagram. It's The Professors, right?
The Professors Podcast.
The Professors Podcast.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube,
MySpace.
everywhere.
I like how it's all this serious shit in the beginning, like shameless plugs. Guys,
We have
watch us.
zero shame.
please.
MySpace.
And I can see you and Shamika just going in,
I'm
and I'm
friends
just like,
with Tom.
hi. Welcome to self-care.
All right.
It's kicked in now, guys. It's kicked
All
in
righty.
now.
So this episode, we're going to be talking about self-care. And I know for all of us in our master's programs, it was probably something that was talked about here and there. And how would you guys define self-care?
Can I just say I don't remember them talking about that in school.
They didn't talk about it a lot in school.
No.
Oh, shit. They
Or shit, where was I? I don't know. Did I zone out? Because that is so essential. I just talked about it with my students this week, the undergrad students.
You know what? I don't remember that being in my
I'm
program
just
either. I
saying.
just thought
Really?
about that. Yes. I don't think
So-
that was a thing.
Dr.
It was-
Carter.
Work, bitch,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
work harder.
No,
Bitch, what's self-care?
in the program I was in, Dr. Carter was one of the professors that
Mr. Carter.
was very big on telling us we needed to take care of ourselves and we needed to have a good self-care routine if we
Okay.
were going to be healthy enough to practice. So when you were talking with your students, how did he define it?
Well, first of all, I had to lead into it with truth and honesty. And I was like, this week I was burnt out. And so I was telling them how I was sitting on Friday across from my PR person, hired PR person. Yeah,
big
I
time
forgot to tell y'all that.
Motherfucking Hollywood. Fuck.
rolling.
She's fuck. The day she comes in here, starts recording
With her
podcasts
mind
with
on the money
sunglasses.
and the money on her mind.
Bitch, I'm a rapper.
Sunglasses and my mink, my mink coat. Sorry, Peter. But
She ain't sorry.
They ain't sponsoring us. Fuck them.
But I was letting them know when I was sitting in the lunch with her, and she was like, "You need to do this weekend. You should do this, and we could book you for this, we could do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And all I was thinking was like, as soon as I get the fuck out of here, like I'm sending her an email, like, no. You know, so that's what I did. But I was telling the students, like, self-care is so essential to what you do. I was like, textbook is the foundation of shit, but life experience is your teacher. And so when you in it, you'll really get to see how much you can tolerate, what you need to do for yourself to fill your cup, because you'll get burnt out quick or compassion fatigue. You know, we talked about that too.
Mhm.
But yeah, a bitch was just tired. And so today I slept.
Yo,
That's why I ain't text you motherfuckers, because I was asleep.
I was wondering. But self-care to me is just taking care of your shit. Your shit meaning yourself. Period. The end. No apologies. Boundaries all day.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. You've got to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, you know.
That's right.
And boundaries are an important part, because I think one of the hardest things for people to learn is how to say no.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy word to say, but hard to say to people, you know. And so when I'm talking about self-care with my students, that's one of the things that I do talk about, is the fact that, you know, yeah, you have to have boundaries. You have to know your limits. You also have to do a lot to make sure that you are healthy. And that, you know, that's different for everybody. It's unique to everybody.
Yeah.
you know, for me to take care of myself, you know, it involves going to the gym. I try to eat right, but not all the time because you got to enjoy life too.
Right.
Spending time with my family, that's an important component of self-care. At least until, you know, they get sick of me and they tell me I got to get out of the house.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
That's why they like the podcast.
You working your way on that Valentine's gift, huh?
Oops. Forgot. But yeah, so you had mentioned being burned out. What are some signs that you are burning out?
Oh shit. Irritable, sleepy. Oh shit. It's like the fatigue for me. Like I know when I'm just like snappy, I could tell like I'm at that moment. And it's probably because I've probably said yes to a lot of shit. And so I have to learn those boundaries. But then I also got to learn what works for me. But I know when I'm irritable or I'm not in my creative space, yeah, I'm burnt. I'm spent. I think we talked about that. Didn't we, Casey? Of like, I was like, bitch, I'm tired.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. We talked about that shit this week because I said something to Shamika like, yo, I'm just having a fucking day. And I want to say it hits me when I told you that shit. I was sitting at my dining room table, finishing up work, looking at the students' emails, doing something else. Ryan asked for something, and I just took off my glasses and started crying. And not.
Oh, wait, for real?
Shamika thought you were getting the powder.
I know. That's what I thought. I was like, oh shit, did you slap spoon?
I did have a powder moment this week too with one of my staff members. Hi, Jomi. That I told her she needed a powder moment, but not in that kind of sense of,
okay.
You know, when people don't see what's going on and looking in, you can see it. So I needed to give her some self-actualization via powder in a very constructive and productive way. But
Would
either
that be
way,
like self-slaptualization?
yeah,
Add
for
that
sure,
to
for
the
sure.
self-care list.
But that's what that's what it was for me. Was I sat there and just cried like, fuck, you said yes too many times.
Yeah.
Now look at your fucking ass. And then I just started like playing the whole thing through of I shouldn't I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have said, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And I just sat there fucked and frustrated.
Fucked and frustrated. And not in a good way.
No.
Fair enough.
Those are the frustrations that come with being fucked. I can take that.
Wrong kind of fucking.
I'm good with that. But yeah. Oh, the ice cube.
You know it.
But
fucked and frustrated.
Fucked and frustrated. Trademark that shit. Hashtag.
Sign of
fucked and frustrated.
The sign of self-care. Fucked and frustrated. The two F's. But you know, I know for me sometimes it is hard to say no to things, and like I tell myself all the time that I put too much on my plate, and you know and then like I'll get another class offered to me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I can do that too,
right.
or you know whatever, and it's hard sometimes to say no. How do you guys know when it's time to say no to something?
When my husband has to console me after I'm done crying because I'm
that's facts.
Right?
Oh, that's facts.
It's like when they have to come in and be like,
yep, babe.
You need a hug? Come here. I know I can't hug you right now because it's back, but come here.
Yep.
And then just
bitch be crying.
Yeah. And it's not like it's anything, but like every emotion that comes out of me manifests itself as crying. So if I'm angry, I'm crying. But that level of frustration is like I can't shake it.
It's crying.
Yeah.
Yes, your husband do have to console you. I was watching a clip, and I can't think of the guy's name right now, but I keep it on my phone. He was on a Breakfast Club, but he was talking about yes is expensive. And I was like, shit, like it is. You know, it's so easy to throw out a yes.
Yeah.
But no, you know, it takes some time, you know, because then you're like, you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or you don't want to do this. But I'm learning to say no because I'm just not at my best, and I don't want to resent when I say yes. You know what I mean? Like then I'd be pissed, you know? And I've done that even in practice of like, if there's a day that a person may need and I'm like, oh, it's free. I can do it. Yeah. And then I do it. And then after I'm like, now why the fuck did you go and do that?
Wait, didn't you and I have this conversation once before about that, about saying yes to so many things because of shit that we gone through in our past?
I'm sure we did.
So I could have sworn I said this shit. I want to say we did.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with you of the continuous use of saying yes is not necessarily like, hey, I want to put myself out there, but coming from how I grew up, I
Right.
say yes because I'm afraid that it's not going to be there anymore. I say yes because I think that all my yeses more times than not are fear-based because I think I'm gonna be poor again. I'm not gonna have shit again. So I keep saying
Mhm.
yes. So then my family doesn't get affected by that.
So the
But
fear of famine.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the hustling
Yeah.
you. It's the what I call like trauma residue of like I have to go all the time. You know,
Yes.
and we talked about I think the first episode of just the fear of success of the hustle. And if you don't, the shit's gonna pass you by. You know,
Right.
like or especially for a minority woman, you ain't taught to rest. Like, bitch, you need to rest. It's okay to rest. You taught to take care of everyone, make that shit happen.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we are looked at as that we're loved just contingent upon how much shit we can do.
facts,
Hmm.
full blown facts.
Yes.
And I think that's how when it manifests itself, I think I appreciate it coming from the spouses because they know
Yes.
how much you contribute
Yeah.
and
Right.
how much weight that carries and all that shit. But yo, I hate to say that too because man, it's fucked up and it's a whole thing with me and little Casey that I'm still trying to work out with her, but it's scary. I still to this day, after I was talking all that shit 2 weeks ago saying like I was doing great and I still am, but I did all that because I was scared. It was out of fear.
Well, and I think that, you know, for myself as well, there's a little bit of fear-based too, where, you know, something gets put on my plate and that response is yes, because there's the fear that it's not going to be there, like you guys said. And it's hard sometimes because when we are responsible for making our own living in the way that we are, you know, like I'm in private practice. So if I don't work, there's no money coming in, you know, and so there's real fear attached to it along with the, you know, the past stuff that we had where it's like, you know, I was told, you know, from the time I was like 15, I've been working pretty much straight, you know, different jobs, doing different things. And that was the expectation, you know, and it's hard to change that mentality a little bit to take care of yourself. And for me, I do think that, you know, I can sometimes when something is put out there, I can in my head be telling myself, no, don't do this. But all I hear coming out of my mouth is, yeah, I got this.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I can say every single fucking time I'm done with the semester that's been rough, I'm like, all right, I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore. I don't care how many Star Wars conventions coming. I don't care what the fuck. I need a break.
She does care.
Yeah, because then it would be like, it's not just do your 2 classes. It's like, hey, do you want to
Yeah.
do 4? Sure. Like, and then I think, and right, I just did that shit with Ryan, and he was like, what the fuck? You told me not to help
Yep.
you not break the boundary, and then you did it when like behind my back, and I low key did.
Yeah.
Like I'm taking like instead of cheating, I'm taking jobs behind his back.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm
Yep.
making more money for the family. It's fucked up. Like
What
the
a
fuck?
predicament though, because he, you know, there's the being upset because you did it behind his back, but then you're also doing it for the good of the family. So it's like,
I know. I mean, but when he has to take care of me on the other end because I
mhm.
I burned both ends, then he
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gets mad and it's like
Because he's the one who has to pick up the pieces. Like,
Yeah.
it's the husband's behind us that's like, you know,
Yeah.
holding us up. But Mark, I want to ask you as the husband, as the man, like, do you feel pressure to, you know, get shit down where you get at me like that? Don't work your way out your Valentine's gift, but say what you feel comfortable.
Love you, baby.
and say it with your chest. Like Shamiki would say.
No, you know, it's kind of a different role because my wife, she takes on a lot because she does a lot of the heavy lifting with the kids and everything
Oh,
while I'm at work
absolutely.
and everything. But she
Yeah.
also works too,
Okay.
you know, and so it's fairly equal, you know, and yeah, sometimes I do feel the pressure because on the weekends when I'm off, I want to be able to do some of the things that, so she doesn't have to, because on her days off, she does a lot of the house stuff and everything because she's off like Monday, Tuesday. And so on my weekends when I'm off, I try to do as much as I can. And it gets tough because I've also got like so much on my plate as well. Even on my weekends, I'm still working and doing other stuff. And it's a tough balance.
Yeah. Like I'm working right now. I'm on call right now. Like, what the
Nobody have a crisis for the next 40 minutes.
Please, guys, please.
If your cat's dead, it'll be dead in 45 minutes. When I took crisis calls, that was always the call that came in. I remember I was on the phone with this person and they were talking and I was consoling them and they're like, and my cat was with me and I'm like sitting there going,
you had to take the call? Oh,
I did.
Shit.
I did.
Oh, damn.
You don't know what's going to come in and they're going to say, but it's always something outlandish. It's
so
never really a true crisis.
Yeah, I'm trying to be professional. I'm like, I'm sure your cat's in a better place.
R.I.P. Whiskers.
Peter coming for our ass this episode. Oh, shit.
People eating
Don't
tasty
shut
animals.
this bitch down, okay? We need that podcast money. So
I really appreciate you saying that, Mark, about like you wanting to take care of things for your wife on the weekends when she's working. Because I think, just having a little bit of help, like on both ends. It's not just one person doing one thing because, I don't know, even when people stay home, that's just that's a hard ass job.
It is.
Yeah.
And like they need more respect for that shit.
It is. And my kids behave differently for the both of us. So
that's how they do. Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they learn this stuff, but yeah, they give my wife a much harder time with things. And so I feel for her. And we do have help because our in-laws live with us as well.
Okay.
So it does help to pick up some of the slack, but it's a lot, and
yeah, it is.
You put kids in the mix, especially when they're little, it's pretty tough.
Fuck them kids.
Man, listen.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Listen.
So
this goes to my twin. We have this saying, he doesn't have any kids.
Okay.
And I have a damn near all the kids. Mm-hmm. And every time it's something like that,
where the village.
Yeah, it's man, fuck them kids. And I love the kids, but fuck them kids. Like seriously, like Wu-Tang Clan. Casey's for the kids, but fuck them kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, so let me ask you guys something. Shamika, what's your main go-to for self-care? I feel like there's two different levels of this, right? Like there's what you can do now, and then something spectacular that just can really reset the whole the whole playlist.
Well, first, can I say that what I used to do in love for self-care?
For sure.
Okay, so I used to take an African dance class, right?
Ooh, wait.
Okay. But I had stopped because the bitch had got real spicy, and the last time that I went, it wasn't African dance. It was more like yin yang twins. And so I was a little embarrassed. So I haven't been back.
Are there videos?
Wait. So you weren't in the opening scene for Coming to America 2. You were saying you weren't
but low. I was on the ground. Like I was on the floor. And so
okay, Meg Thee Stallion. I see those knees don't work.
Hey, listen, bitch got 4 kids. I done said it before. I done said it before. I say it again. Okay, I was pussy popping.
Yes. Now the shit got spicy.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Seriously, we were allowed to do a solo. Everybody do a solo, and then I remember like telling my mother-in-law back then, like, I'm not gonna do a lot. I'm not gonna be extra. Bitch is extra.
No
so
shit.
So some drums start, and then I was like, bitch. And they were looking at me like, whoa. And I was like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm not coming back. So I haven't been back, but I would like to if you guys would have me. But the other end for self-care is lately I love taking a walk. I take a walk and I put on music and I just be outside in the zone. Like just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rapper in my first life, so
Had to be.
I'd be out there. So you see me, doing this like
She's
I'm
the
not
one
crazy.
spitting fire at the bus stop.
Bars.
Yeah. All the bars. What about you, Mark?
So so for me, I think my main component of self-care is making sure I go to the gym, because when I feel like shit when I'm not. And, so over the last year, I've been making more of an effort to go. I get up early to go because that's really the only time I can fit it in the day. But that is my main component because it helps with so much other stuff.
It does.
That, and on Fridays, I play softball.
You do.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's fun. It's a good way to check out from the week.
Uh-huh.
In the group that I play with, they're a good bunch of people. We have a lot of fun. It's not serious. Nobody's like out there thinking they're getting called up by the Dodgers or anything. We're just out there having fun.
Is it a whole bunch of dads?
No, it's co-ed.
It's the dad.
Well,
That's a legitimate question.
well, actually, yeah. To be fair, I think most of the guys playing are.
That wasn't a
But,
that wasn't shade, Mark.
Zaddies.
But I mean, to be fair, like it's co-ed, so it's co-ed. It's recreational.
It's mommies and daddies.
Yeah, and everybody's out there just having fun.
Okay.
Look
What
at you
about
in
you?
the gym.
Me.
Pumping it up.
See, this is the problem because I don't even have anything right now. I can tell you what it used to be. It used to be going to the gym and going to get tattoos. And I know that sounds weird, but that is the most
You love it.
I do.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I love it and I hate it. And shout out to my boy Swarm at the
Okay,
Hive coming through with all my 98% of my body covered in Swarm tattoos. But the big thing that I like to do that helps like reset is doing something to heal. Here goes a therapist. Watch out. To heal the inner child is something that like I've never been able to do before. And I want to say last year I bought tickets to go see Silk Sonic's residency,
Mhm.
right? Because I never got to
I
see
remember
Anderson
that.
.Paak. Yeah.
Mhm.
Never got to see Anderson .Paak when I wanted to.
I remember.
And this was going to be
Mhm.
like, I bought the tickets. I've never paid like $1,000 for some tickets.
Yeah, you bought
Yeah.
out.
I balled out. And like this was the first concert where there's no, you can't have your cell phones in there. They literally lock them up.
It's for
And,
oh,
it, and it
shit.
gives you a pouch,
Okay.
locks up, no phones, no shit. You're going in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole healing young
Dang.
Casey was the seats where I was at was right behind VIP. So who sat in front of me? The Backstreet Boys. This is a true fucking story. The
I
Backstreet Boys.
remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you
The
telling me.
Backstreet Boys sat in front of me. James Corden or whatever the fucking
The fat
loser.
English guy?
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck you for being rude to people, you piece of shit. Be nice to fucking everybody.
Guess who's
You
not
had your
appearing on the
feet
show?
on the you had your feet on that table and those people were trying to serve you and you were a dick. So
Was
fuck you. Yeah. So anyways.
Oh, okay.
So the music starts going and I'm like just in my element. Andy Pack comes out and they do all the songs with him and Bruno, right? And it's fantastic. But then they do solo ones. And
Right.
the one song I was talking about last time
Wow.
came on
Wow.
and I stood up and then some of the Backstreet Boys stood up and we're just sitting there like, yeah, like rapping back and forth. And there's just like, these lyrics like, let me take these, take these glasses off. He says, let me take these bitches off. Let me get a full scope. I take them off and I throw them at Ryan. And I'm turning around to the crowd like I was getting
was
my
in your
fucking
zone.
life. Yeah.
you was
and-
in the zone.
And all these people were cheering me. I'm like, fuck, you knew all those lyrics.
Right.
Don't fucking play with me and Anderson .Paak. But that when I left there,
Wow.
I felt like something just changed in me. Like it
Yeah.
changed me forever. And it wasn't just because it was what it was. It was, I was able to have like a concert that I've always wanted to see like, NWA. That was never going to happen for me at that
Right.
age. New Kids on the Block, Don't At Me. But it was
Oh,
always,
they're my faves.
I know. And it's always those ones
Yeah.
that like I would never,
Mhm.
I was just out of reach because I was poor and you know what I mean?
Right.
Not getting to do anything like that. So to do big things like that means a lot to me because just shows you like how far you came. But then
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like a different person now, like after I seen that shit.
you're
It just-
glowing
Yeah.
now to
I
this
know,
day.
because it was fucking everything. Like
Yeah.
I got to go to my favorite restaurant best friend and have Kogi tacos. And it was like this whole California vibe. And I just had the best fucking time.
You could tell. You
was-
still glowing
It was
a year
so-
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
What about you? What's your big one?
My big self-care?
Yeah.
Haven't did it in a while, but it's always traveling.
Okay.
But it's because something about me being on the airplane is that creatively something happens and like my best and
Mhm.
biggest ideas happen. And that's not work for me. You know, it just feels good. But it's something about when I travel, like I just have a renewed spirit, renewed mind. And I come back with something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love
like,
it.
I like
I-
that
yeah.
shit.
Traveling's my thing too. And actually, like ours, like for me, my biggest thing, like recently, was we took our kids on a Disney cruise.
If you didn't say that, I was
Right.
gonna,
Oh,
I
it
was
was-
going to
Right.
fucking
But-
say
come on,
it for
Dr.
you.
Mark.
But
Shit.
like, we went. I was looking at it, and they're expensive no matter what. And I'm like, okay, so might as well ball out.
Talk your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Get it.
we got a sweet ass room.
Mhm.
On the ship. We flew, and I in the airport and everything. We were like we had a little bit of a layover. I want to say in Salt Lake City, and I'm like, might as well just go all out on this. And so we went into like the Delta Sky Lounge because we're on Delta, and
Okay.
I have like the Delta card, right?
No,
So we went in.
Fancy.
Yeah, no, I'd
No
never been
Frontier?
up in there. No.
Boy.
but that was the whole thing. I'm like, that was the whole thing. I was like, I want to make this special, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And so we go up in the lounge, and my kids are fucking ruined for traveling from this point forward because
Yeah, absolutely.
that place, I'm like, it was amazing.
What did they have in there?
Everything and like
How
a
you
buffet.
gonna go on
and
Spirit now? How
they had
How?
they had like showers in there if you wanted to change and shower, and I was
What?
like.
Money making Mark.
And I'm sitting in there. So we're sitting up there, we're eating, and you can see down by the gates. And I remember thinking, look at those peasants.
There's
But-
Mark C's Avery.
Yeah, right. And your
Hey,
cargo
on
shorts.
Southwest bitch.
Your cargo shorts.
The whole trip was amazing because we left out of Florida, and if you haven't ever gone on a Disney cruise, it is like no other cruise you go on because the check-in process was like the smoothest thing ever.
Okay.
We were waiting for our boarding, and literally my kids wandered next to the guy that was like letting people on. He goes, "You guys ready to get on the ship?" And I'm like, "Well, we don't board for another 11 groups." He goes, "No, you're boarding now." And he just lets us on.
Ooh, no
Nah,
money
are
when
we
I
sure
see
it's
it.
not Disney or it's Dr. Mark?
It's
No,
Bond?
Dr. Mark.
Because
It was
Dr.
all.
Mark.
this
it was
is
all
dripping with
Disney.
extravagance.
I'm talking
It
about.
was, and then
I know money when
I'm
I see it.
talking
it was
shiny drinks and dirty naked freaks.
Champagne drink.
no, it was all Disney. And I'll tell you what, on the ship, they went above and beyond, and my kids had so much fun. Like they interacted with all the princesses, and like if you caught the characters as they were walking to take pictures or walking around the ship, they would sit there and play with the kids. And my girls went like it was the best time of their life.
See,
And for me, that was the big
Beautiful,
thing
though.
because they're going to remember this forever.
yeah,
And that's what I wanted.
Right.
And growing up, like our family vacations were more like, the
The
Chevy
Volvo.
Chase National Lampoons type thing where shit would
But
always
those
go
are
wrong.
cool. Like,
No,
let's see. Here's
no, but we didn't have the fun part at the end of it. Like shit would just go wrong.
I just think
you
it's
know?
interesting when people have like stories like that. You know what I mean? Like when we were recording another podcast and you were talking about Whitney Houston playing the entire time.
Oh,
I sat there and thought, like, fuck, I
damn.
wonder what it would be like to go on vacation like that with my family
yeah.
and just go somewhere. Cause that was never my, but I'm not saying
But
whatever.
we
It's just
yeah.
it's very interesting because I always felt like I wanted that, like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like this rich kid life. You know what I mean? Of
Oh, we
I
weren't
want to go to
rich.
summer camp.
We
I-
weren't rich.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm
But,
not
yeah.
saying you were. I'm just saying like going on. There's things when you grow up very, very
Yeah.
poor that people in middle class even take for granted,
Mhm.
and they don't even think about it. Like you just saying that right now of well, we weren't rich. That's not what I was saying. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's just even going on trips, like
Well,
that was never a thing.
it wasn't like an every year thing. Like it was pretty sparse in between. And like I said, the only successful trip where we actually made it to our destination, I think there were only 2 out of my entire childhood.
Man,
Because either the car would break down and we'd end up going back or something, you know, like
You
2.
in the woods.
2, maybe
Go
3
to
where we made
motherfuckers
it
in the woods again.
where we made it to our destination. But like
his parents were probably like, man, fuck them kids.
Right, exactly. But you gonna
Maybe.
get this Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
but we all had to cram in the station wagons.
Okay.
There were no seatbelt laws.
Jeez. That,
They was up front smoking.
yeah.
No,
No, I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm sorry, parents.
they didn't smoke.
This is
thank
the
God.
podcast I'm gonna have my dad listen to. The first one is this one.
Right.
my dad's part, like, I think my dad's self-care when he was dealing with me, because hearing you talk about your girls makes me think of my dad taking care of me and my sister. And like, he used to always take us to the beach almost every weekend. And this motherfucker, and I'm gonna say this just like this, Dad, this motherfucker would like slap on the sunscreen with like sand already on the shit. And you know that shit burns. And it'd be, Mark, may I?
Yeah.
It'd be like, I'm like, yo, like exfoliating the shit out of my arms and
He's
all
done
that
learning
shit.
you right.
It's like, all right, and then the face. All right, you can go in the water
Slap
now.
that
It's
shit
like,
on.
oh, golly.
Well, I take that back. There were 3 destinations, but 1 doesn't count because we flew.
So what else, Mark? What
So-
else?
Why do you think so many people struggle with self-care?
Well, I think because of just like how you guys were talking though, of like sometimes it's how you taught too. Like, what do you see? You
Mhm.
know, being modeled. You know, did your parents have self care? You
No.
know, like definitely
No.
not my mom. You know, my mom was a hustler. You know, like, and so that's what I seen. Like, till she just couldn't no more. She hustled her ass off. You know, and so that's all I seen. And so
Mhm.
naturally, that's in me too. You know, like I just don't recall her ever taking a damn break.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, when I graduated from graduate school, I remember just being so upset because she couldn't make it to the graduation in Minnesota because she was working. And I was like, damn, bitch, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
when you gonna take a break, you know, or hire
Yeah.
somebody. And so that's one thing I just do not want to do with my kids. And so trying to have that balance too. So because I want them, I do say them like, is this your me time? You know,
Mhm.
or I give them money because
Mhm.
they're, you know, teens.
McDonald's money.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
At
fucking
this point
McDonald's
now,
money.
yeah, yeah. You know, I'm fucking with them. So, so
Fucking with them tough
I'm
now.
buying nuggets for the motherfuckers now. You know, got a little paper. So putting cheese on they shit.
Damn.
But
The cheese.
we made it. And
Okay. She's like, and the guacamole, bitch.
okay, large.
Shit.
But double ice for these motherfuckers. But I'm teaching them now self-care.
Mhm.
Like, you know, just this week talking to my son who's 16, you know, I could tell that he was having a moment. I'm like, well, what did you do for yourself? Like, are you sleeping? Are you eating? What do you want to do for? So that's what I'm saying. I'm modeling to them something a little bit different. At least I hope of teaching them to live your fucking life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Whatever that is for you.
What about you?
So I like what Shamika said. You know, I try to model different for my kids too. You know, and talking to them and being present with them. And, you know, earlier in the year, I got the chance, well, actually technically last year, like my little kindergartner, her class had a Christmas party and the teacher had asked for like volunteers. I'm like, I'm all over that shit. So I volunteered in the class that day and got to help out. And, you know, she was in heaven because I was there, you know.
Yeah.
And it's things like that for me, you know, trying to show up for my kids in a way that was different because, you know, my dad worked all the time when I was
Mhm.
growing up. You know, my mom, there were 4 kids and only
Mhm.
one of her. If my dad was at work, it was all her. And you know, you can only go so many different ways and somebody's always going to get missed. So try to do things different, you know? And so for me, yeah, with my kids, talking to them, spending a little more time and, you know, letting them know that I value them in a different way, you know?
Absolutely.
And they know I go to the gym in the morning. They know that I do stuff to take care of myself, and I want them to learn to do that too. You know, but trying to find things that they're interested in is very important. So, you know, my youngest is now playing soccer a little bit, and
Mhm.
my oldest is more kind of the dance. You know, she likes dance and everything.
Okay.
That's dope. My throat.
My throat.
I think my parents did a good job of showing me self-care because my mom read a shit ton, read all kind, like she would stack the books like against her wall around the entire room of like she was just an avid reader. And then she also had this casita behind her house of like sewing shit. So she had a good, I think she had a good balance, but I also think that had to come from her having cancer for so long that she had to find some kind of outlet for it. And then even and then even in high school, my dad's always played, you know, he played professional baseball. He played softball tournaments, fast pitch tournaments. So he always had that. He has like his he's gonna kill me. His airplanes, like the AC planes.
Okay.
He's like a tinker. You know what I mean? He likes tinkering. He's really good at that. And I think for whatever reason, I feel like it skipped me because I have I have to seriously work on the self-care, but then my children, I think the only time I need to like step in for them is when I see them working really hard with school. And like my daughter, especially when I see her do that, and I say, you know, you're just a kid.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be on the grind of work, school. Like
that pressure.
I said, you can take a day off.
Yeah.
I said, you can take a mental health day. Like, and she just looked at me like, are you serious? And I said, yeah. Like,
is that your oldest?
My oldest daughter.
Yeah.
I said, it's not a thing. Don't worry about that. And I think my son naturally just, when he doesn't feel it, he already knows. So I think I don't know how they got it, but they got it. And so it's really cool to see that shit because my parents laid it out for me. I clearly didn't pick that up because I'm out here hustling, trying to take every job I can. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I still have to work on this shit. I hate this topic. I hate it and I love it because you teach it in class and I make people do one of the, you know, like an inventory of where they're at. And it sucks for that week because when I read those students' posts, you just see like that's a lot of where their raw shit comes out of. It's during that part of like, one person, I think one semester, not too long ago said, I wish I can cry more. I was like, fuck.
Man.
Like you can't even
cry?
You can't even cry.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have time to cry.
Yeah.
That's some serious shit. So when this topic comes up and it's always like good, like, yeah, let's have that. But where it's coming from and how long it's been there for anybody, it's fuck. It could be real fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it can. And, you know, the students that I have, regardless if it's the undergraduate or graduate programs, you know, that's something that I try to put out there in the way that it was put out for me, like in my graduate program where, you know, you have to take care of yourself in order to be able to do anything to help anyone else. And so for me, the hardest part is always taking the time off because I'm afraid because if I take the time off, that's not revenue coming in, you know, and, you know, my clients, I know they're all okay. You know, there's nobody that I'm like super worried about or anything, but it's like, you know, I'm afraid of the famine and teaching my students something that in reality is hard for most therapists to practice. And I think most people in general, it's hard.
Yeah.
I think that I wanted to say that earlier when you were talking about taking time off and your clients, because I think that's a reason why I've never went private practice. Is because the aspect of me having to rely on somebody else for me to make money scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified of that. And I felt like I've always was chill under the umbrella of an agency I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's consistent, then I know what to deal with. But that goes back to being fear-based, like 100%. Because I hear everybody else that like the benefits of being independent and like being able to do your own time and do all that shit. And I was like, fuck, that sounds
But
nice.
there's a lot of work that goes.
That's
in
what I'm
with that,
saying.
too.
And like, I don't think anybody can convince me otherwise, because I don't think I will ever feel like
well, and
safe.
I
That's
said
weird to
this in the-
say. You know what I mean?
I said this in the last episode though too. I wouldn't even be in private practice if it wasn't for my wife. You know, she's the one that really said, you know, if you want to do this, do it. We'll be fine. Well, because she understood that it takes time to build a practice that has, you know, where the clients are coming in and did, you know, and for her to take that mantle on and, you know, take that pressure and everything, you know, I can't thank her enough for that, you know, because it's hard. And that's why, you know, I try to return the favor as much as I can, because, you know, it took some time. You know, the first year in private practice, you know, at the end of the day, after paying all the bills, I think I only had a total profit of like $700, you know.
It's
that's
the
what I'm saying.
hustle.
It's a
though.
hustle.
It's the hustle,
I'm
though.
saying that I respect it. It's just, it's scary to me. Yeah.
Just like, but it's the thing too. I think at the end of it, it's all fear based, no matter
Right.
what you do too, because I can't work for the agency because I don't like the 9 to 5 or a set. You know what I mean? Like I like the flexibility of doing the other stuff, but again, at the end of the day, it's the hustle in everything that we do. Even if you at an agency or private practice, you're still hustling. You know, you still got to work. You know, you still got to do something. But you got to figure out just what works for you. And just thinking about what you were saying as it relates to self-care, I know how to do it, but I just wish that I could do it before I got to the point of like a bitch is crying, you know, and then being like, okay, let me be. Oh, because I forgot that one of the biggest things that I do is
She gave us a
staycations.
Beyonce finger.
Yeah, I did. Was like,
Hold up.
the one of the things that I do for myself is the staycation.
Yeah.
And I do go crazy. You know what I mean? Like top suites. And so, yeah, I can't believe I forgot that. I just took my son in January.
I was just going to ask you.
Believe I fucking
Just like a couple
we
weeks
went
ago.
to the Delano. Yeah. And we listen.
Where'd you
it's
guys go?
The Delano.
Downtown.
Behind Mandalay Bay.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
Oh.
bitch, not gonna be downtown.
Well,
First of all, that's Las Vegas Boulevard.
my bad.
But again, that I can't believe I
Downtown's
forgot
got some
that.
good stuff down there.
I don't know. I don't want to be downtown.
But that's-
Oscar Steakhouse
but
is
that-
downtown.
But
But that's dope. That it's
Yeah.
for me,
yes.
the little black girl from Detroit. So what I do every time that I do check into a hotel, you know, they have like the notepad. I write myself a note and I said, "Dear little Mimi," and then I put whatever I'm feeling.
Damn.
Yes,
Okay.
I got it in my purse. I keep it with
Shit.
me. Yeah.
See, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to do that with Quincy. I got one. We have our first mommy daughter thing going on.
Do
right?
you?
Yeah. Cause I was a little influenced by you because when you were doing you and your son's
Yeah.
staycation, I was like, fuck, I got one more Disneyland ticket I already bought. I just gotta spurn it. And then I'm like, oh, so you're gonna laugh because you're talking about Frontier. I was like, man, I'm gonna get $20 ticket to go down over here. And then I was like,
But that's okay.
but it's not
Cheap.
It's cheap.
It's
but then I'm
okay.
like, but my baby likes to wear the dresses and she
Yeah.
likes to change all this shit. So I'm like, bitch is gonna have to splurge and buy these expensive fucking Southwest tickets.
Yeah.
You gonna have to.
Yeah, but then I did, and then I felt good about it.
Yeah.
And then hearing you say that, like, just doubles down on that feeling of like, it's okay.
It's
okay to do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's okay to do
And it's
that
a
shit.
bomb-ass feeling to be able to do it.
Mhm.
But when I took my son and he was like, "How much does this cost?"
Yeah.
So I'm like breaking it down to him. He's like, "Okay," because in his mind, because he has like a summer job,
Mhm.
so in his mind, he's like, "How much do I need to come back?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Damn, I kind of love that." You know what I mean? Like, I want to expose them to stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, yeah, you could do whatever you want. We gonna these little black faces. We're gonna be everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, like.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love that shit. So wait, speaking of that, because I wanted to tell you guys my story, and it's kind of self-care-ish. Like my self-care coming home
Okay.
is
Okay.
just nobody talking to me. I lay down in my bed and I go on like Reddit or TMZ to hear like see all the trash or whatever. And Shamika sent something somewhere and I had to go on LinkedIn. This is the story I was telling you guys. I've been waiting to tell you guys. Okay. So I don't know what I was looking up for you. I don't know what it was, but I was looking you up. And it was either in LinkedIn or Facebook. And I put in Shamika Green. Bruh. Let me tell you how many broads come up. Shamika Green. And like black girls,
Right.
some white girls. And I
Wait, there were white girls?
No, it couldn't be. Could not have been.
So
Not
it
a
made,
one.
me, it made me think. I know you probably seen it. Into the
What?
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
Yes. Have you seen that? I knew she was gonna.
My
That's
kids
why.
Of
love
course you
Miles
know I have
Morales.
it.
Yeah. So
Okay, go ahead.
Into the Spider-Verse is like about a kid. He's Puerto Rican. He's mixed, right?
Yeah, he's
Puerto
mixed.
Rican.
Puerto
Yeah,
Rican and black.
Puerto Rican and black, and he's a Spider-Man in the Spider universe.
Really?
There's all
Yeah.
kinds of different Spider-Mans in the Spideyverse.
Okay.
And it's just
It's like a multiverse.
it's a multiverse
Okay.
thing. And so I'm thinking, holy shit, I'm in Shamika's multiverse right now.
right.
Like these white girls are like a version.
Can't
There
be.
I swear to you, call my husband right now because
My
there was a
vanilla
girl.
sisters.
There was this girl that had like
Calling all Shamika Green.
it would have been Shamika circa 1989 with the hot. Oh, and I hope that other Shamika Green don't come for me, but she like it had the whole thing, and I was like, this would be Shamika Green via Georgia Line over here. That's Shamika Green, and I was dead, and I'm over here showing
shit.
Ryan, and he's like, that's your friend, and you out here like this, and that's your friend. I'm like, yo, I entered the Shamika verse like for real, and I'm like texting you guys like laughing my ass off, like, you know. Because if you just see
This
them,
shit is
I swear to
hilarious.
okay, so either go on LinkedIn or
It's
Facebook.
some vanilla Shamikas.
They're,
Can't be done.
I'm telling
With the
you.
cornrows.
Shamika
I
Green.
appreciate you, sisters.
Because I don't know why
My
I was
vanilla sisters. I appreciate
Oh, wait,
but
no,
there
I
was
can't.
one that was like Shamika Green. I was like, boy, I'm in the universe right now. I don't think it had to have been
This is
LinkedIn.
hilarious.
But then I just started going off of other shit, and that was my self care for the night of like, I wonder what Shamika Green in Australia does.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Does she claim
Shamika
like,
in Tennessee.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Shamika Green from Tallahassee, Florida?
Right,
Country as
right,
fuck.
Tallahassee. That's what I'm telling
Country as fuck. So that was
Oh,
that.
damn.
But if you haven't seen it, you need to for some
Okay.
self care. It was probably they say it's like one of the best Spider-Man movies ever.
You guys
made.
always
lo-
put
I
me up
loved
on
Into the
shows and
Spider-Verse.
shit.
I loved Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's so good.
I told you my student told me to watch Shrinking.
Did you guys watch it yet?
I haven't
No,
gotten
I
a
gotta
chance.
pay for it.
It's-
Apple
it's-
making me pay
It's
for
the
it.
next on my list.
Not unless you slap me, yo.
I'll give it to you. The shit you say less, say less, and I got you. I watched it again this week, and I'm like, fuck, this shit gets better and better. And I'm telling you
I gotta
guys,
see it.
it's like put
What's-
the whole podcast away. It's our lives.
What's funny though
To see
is
it.
after you had mentioned it, I think it had 2 or 3 other people that had mentioned the show, and I'm like, oh fuck, now I gotta watch it.
See, now
Yeah.
students are telling me to watch it. I know I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. But that's been like that's like the self care like mini
Yeah.
Mhm.
goes around Friday. Like I didn't expect to go to a wedding yesterday and get all fuck.
Hammer.
Yeah, but the Mexican aunties and uncles, boy, that
Do it for the
shit.
incense.
My cousin. But then to like watch like all the like the last like all these nerdy fuck. But that Shrinking is just it just hits different, and especially right before we come do this podcast because it's
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
man like
Slap me your login.
I got you. And it's just this dad is just like how he like I'm sitting. He's very we're gonna do this, and he's like, man, fuck them kids. Like it's the
Yeah.
same.
I gotta watch it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, but I feel like we kind of like closing this up. I feel
Yeah.
like this is a spin-off of what our self-care used to be back in the day. Do you guys
Right.
realize that?
Mm.
Like by us always getting together
yeah.
at the end or the beginning of a
Yeah.
semester.
Or both.
Yes, or both.
And shit talking our students.
Yes. And then winding down or like gearing up.
Yeah.
And now we entered into like this realm of it.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
It's everything. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? Like it's
It is. And, I think for us, we've always kind of had this kind of chemistry especially when we're talking some shit about like students and some of the stuff going on. And I know for me, it's helped tremendously, like getting ready for the next semester going in. Cause I'm like, fuck, I got this,
And I think I have to use that to get my mind right of, okay, I know that I'm going to get a text message from Mark or Shamika saying, these motherfuckers right here.
It's always this motherfucker tried to test
To be
me.
fair, that's always at the end of the semester where there's that, one person that's like, so professor, I forgot to take my final. It's like, motherfucker, it's been open a week.
And I got
Don't go
one.
there.
I got one this week that said I was too harsh on my grading. And I think that played into me feeling like when I just broke down because I'm like, man, fuck. You're getting upset with me because you didn't do the assignment as I described. Here's the thing. A bitch, fuck, it was, God damn it. Now it's all coming together. Now I'm getting even more mad. That day that I said, these motherfuckers aren't listening to me and I'm going to make a video. I made the fucking video.
Mm-hmm.
I posted the fucking video to all the sections.
Yeah.
Right? And then this person emails me asking me the same shit. And I wanted to be like, bitch, did you watch the video? Did you read this? Did you read this? Did you read this? And then that's really harsh. And all I thought was like, well, I'm about to go back in the principal's office again. Here we go. It's going to be the year that I'm just going to be like, fuck this. Like,
staying in that one.
The fuck?
I always go back. Did you read the syllabus?
I say that all the time. And then it's just, but then I wanted to double down. I had to have one of my staff members read my email because she was like, that's too spicy. That's too spicy. And I was mad as fuck because I was like, I said, it's in the syllabus. It's in the video I posted. It's in the goddamn assignment every fucking week. Like, it's right there.
So were you playing look, bitch, listen, bitch?
I was playing fuck around, find out, bitch.
What did you say? We're cool until what?
Yeah, we're cool until we're not cool.
That's
we're
what it
fucking
is.
not cool right now. So that's that. See, look at when I get spicy like this, Mark, I need self-care. So I'm probably have to go across the way and go get me some Kogi tacos because I'm on one.
The podcast is self-care.
It is.
For me, I love it. It's
Yeah.
not work at all.
No.
At all.
I look forward to it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So then final words. Final thoughts.
Well, final thoughts. Just we're coming up on our season finale. I just want to say I'm grateful for doing the podcast, being able to use your voice as it relates to self-care. Something that no one told me. I just want to say to others, do whatever works for you, because I feel like everybody is a social media therapist, coach, whatever, and everybody's telling you what you should do for self-care. Like it looks like this, it looks like that. It looks like whatever the fuck gives you joy, whatever makes you happy, because that, I think, hurt me. It was like, oh, I should just be sitting
Can I get
still.
an amen?
Okay.
Preach.
Send the tithes money to.
Boy.
Come on down to the church, but do whatever
And
works
the
for
Lord
you.
Jesus said,
Cash
See,
app.
you fucked around and found out that's Shamika from that
Oh,
that
no.
Shamika verse. I'm telling you,
Shamika
Georgia
from
Line.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. What
and
about
the
you?
God said, send the money.
What about you, Mark?
If you want to be blessed.
I think the most important part of self-care is just finding things that you enjoy doing and doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. Eat the cheeseburger, have the slice of pizza,
Okay.
You got to live life.
go outside, fucking cuss out somebody. Do whatever. No, I'm serious. Do whatever it is that's gonna make you happy. Live your life.
Wait.
Hold up.
Put a disclaimer on that shit. Then they're gonna be calling us from jail because now you done
I got you. I told you
And
I'm a
the
good,
Lord Jesus said,
I'm a good enough
had a
therapist for
bail
the
money. Damn, Casey.
I'm saying though, because it's that freedom of releasing or
Yeah.
healing.
Yes.
I hate
Remember,
to go
bitch, get deep at
Yep.
the end. Here she go. Here
Uh,
she go.
always healing that inner child. And I know, like, don't
Yeah.
take that to sound so
Freudian.
basic counselor 101
That's some real shit.
on some real shit. You heal that kid,
Yeah.
your whole fucking being just changes.
Absolutely.
It just changes all the way. So
Sure
whatever
does.
it is, and even if people think that it's childish or it's whatever, go fucking do it. Take yourself out for the ice cream. Buy the shit that you couldn't get before. I think that's why I eat pizza every fucking week.
Oh, I love
Because
pizza.
that's an inner child.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like they're just so
I buy
do it
Care
all.
Bears.
Yeah.
There you go.
Inner child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Live.
that was it. Yep. So
Okay.
go ahead and where they can
Live your
find us up
life.
again.
So you can find us on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts.
Mhm.
Feel free to email us at theprofessorspodcast@yahoo.com. Find us on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. And
You can find me at Hustlers if you don't send that Taz money. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Cinnamon on backstage.
Not the backstage. Fuck. She was on stage too. Now she's in the back. She's part-timing us
Moving
now.
up. It's
See,
Black
look at-
History Month.
Because she got her self-care. So now she's not. She's working part-time only. Just don't fuck with her
Black
money.
History
Closer to
Month.
the champagne room.
Don't fuck with her money. Don't fuck with her D. Bye.